Well, morning everybody. Welcome to Hertfordshire on what appears to be a sunny day, which makes a change from all the rain we've had. Today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the BMW 118D 2010 E87 N47. Now I bought this last Monday from a main dealership after trading in my company car, which was a 318M Sport Business Edition, which I really liked. The only difference being is that had an automatic box and this has got a manual. So this has done 47,000 miles. I'm the second owner. Now there are lots of people saying that it's small in the back and the boot's small and all things like that, so I'm just going to give you an honest view of how I see it. I had a 5 Series BMW for a company car, changed the job, put me into 3 Series, and now I wanted to own my own vehicle. I'm fed up with all this car leasing rubbish. So here we are in my 2010 118D and manual gearbox. So first impressions are the seats are comfortable. I quite like it, very similar to the 318. I like it. Steering wheel's identical. It's got all the controls on the steering wheel. If I was to upgrade the radio, then I could have the controls on the steering wheel working. However, that doesn't bother me too much. So, 6-speed gearbox, picks up really well. It's got the efficiency dynamic system, so it gives you an indication on the dashboard as to when to change up if you want to drive on the numbers. Personally, I'm not bothered. At the end of the day, this is returning something like about 68 miles per gallon. As I'm cruising along a 40 mile an hour limit now, it's pushing me back 46, 44 miles per gallon. So, and that's in 4th gear, 2 to go. So I'll give you a bit of a spell down the motorway as soon as I get there. We're on the B road around Stevenage in Hertfordshire at the moment. So comfortable, no clangs and bangs when you hit a bump. Typical German build. I'm really impressed with these. I was a Honda man for years, but then got into a BMW as a company car, and I have to say I'm not going to look back. My wife drives a Honda and she often wonders why I keep going back to BMW, but you pay a bit more for the vehicle, of course you do, but it's German technology, but I love it. I think they're well made. The only other car that can match it, which is in a total different league anyway, was the Mazda MX-5, which I thought was a fantastic little vehicle. You hit a bump in there and it didn't phase it at all, unlike the MGF that really rattled and rolled, you know, didn't like that at all. But this is solid, it's firm, the steering's precise, the gearbox is nice and smooth. I actually like it. A lot of people complain about the gearbox being a stick in mud and all that, but I actually like it. It feels like I'm driving it. People do say it's a driver's car. I think they're right, it's rear wheel drive, and you know, you can put your foot down and it really goes. I like it a lot. So, cloth interior, gone for cloth interior this time. I had leather in all my other cars. Cloth is okay. This one's got the heated seats, very efficient on the heated seats. The actual driving position itself is good. The only thing is that I will agree with a lot of criticism is the visibility out the back window. It's got the 3 headrests, but I think if I was to put the middle headrest down, then that would free up a little bit. But I've got a car behind me now, I can see it okay, and quite honestly, if you can't see out the back window, you should be driving anyway. So that's my view. Wing mirrors, very good. They're pretty good. The heater system again is very efficient. The demisting is very good. It's almost in an instant, which I like, especially on early morning starts. The tyres, again, I'm on run flat tyres. A lot of people don't like them. Give a bit of a firmer ride, but I actually like the firmer ride. It sort of gives me a little bit of confidence that the car is actually sticking to the road rather than normal tyres which I've had, and the car tends to wallow a little bit. But with this one, I find it sticks to the road very good and goes round corners like it's on rails. Steering doesn't judder. When you stamp on the brakes hard, they work. They are really good. Fortunately, I've not had to crack in the ABS just yet, but I'm sure that day will come, as unfortunately I found out on the 3 Series on the road into Norwich where some clown whacked me up the backside doing about 30 miles an hour, done quite a lot of damage, but it was repairable. I was worried that they was going to write the car off, but the guy said no, that's why you pay all this money for them, and in the end it was a nice repair job and the car was as good as new, quite frankly. So these are built like tanks. The roads at the moment, like most towns I guess, are pretty poor, I have to say. You've got potholes here, potholes there, and they just don't seem to be doing too much to repair them. So having a car with a firm suspension, a firm ride is really, really good. I've got a bit of a dicky back as well, so I like a good riding position, a seat that I can actually change to suit me, and I don't get jarred up the back every time I hit a pothole. So here we are, we're just on the first bit of dual carriageway, and I'm in third gear, and if I put my foot down, you might be able to hear it. It picks up pretty damn quick, I have to say. That's the old speed warning telling me to slow down. So we're okay at the moment. Now I'm cruising in fourth gear, just feathering the throttle, and it's indicating between 68 and 80 miles per gallon. Now, I actually don't think that's too bad. We're making our way down to the motorway, so I'm going to give a bit of a bash down the motorway to give you an idea of what it's down there. Indicator's good, the washers are good. I like all the intermittent washers and wipers, I like all that. On this particular model, it's different to my others. I've actually got a real wash wipe, which I've not had on my 318. But this is nice, this is like, it goes where you point it. That's what I like about it. A little bit of a slip there, but I just think it's because the road's very wet and we've had a lot of rain over the last couple of days. But the gearbox is slick, you know, we're back up to 6th gear now, and it's 50 mile an hour, 55, and it's just, love it. I really do like it, you know. There's not a lot of room in the back, but hey, I knew that when I bought it, so why do people bleat about no room in the back and the boot's small? That's why you go and look at these things, so that you can make your own mind up. For me, I use it mainly for work. I might play a little bit of sport, a little bit of golf. I get my golf clubs in the back. All right, they've got to go in the back seat, but that's not the end of the world. I can get the grandson in the back, and if shove comes to push, I can notch the seat forward a little bit, and I can get some friends in the back. So it's okay, really. It is what it is. It's a smallish car in comparison to others where there's a bit more legroom in the back. But at the end of the day, I actually don't mind it because I've paid a little bit extra, and I know that I've bought quality. And the residual value when I do go to change it up is going to be pretty high. You know, I've had Hondas, I've had new Hondas, and after 5-6 years, you know, they're virtually worthless, quite frankly. But you know, this is nice, going around quite a nice big roundabout here, and it's going around like it's on rails. Performance wise, I think it's pretty good acceleration. It took me a little while to get used to the the manual gearbox, because I've had automatics for the last 5-6 years, so that took a bit of getting used to. But other than that, it's okay. Parking sensors can be a bit of a pain in the backside, quite frankly. They work on the front and the rear on this model, so as soon as you slam it into reverse gear, it automatically turns the sensors on. When you stop, they continue to beep. So even when you take it out of gear and put the handbrake on, so you have to physically turn it off on the bottom console down here. That's a little bit irritating, whereas on the 318 it automatically turned off when you put the vehicle in park. But hey ho, I can live with that, that's not the end of the world. Headlining's very, very nice, grey headlining. Interior lighting's very good. When you open the doors, it's very good. This one's a black vehicle with the alloy wheels, run flat tyres, as I said. Overall, a nice car. It's also got the automatic stop-start, which you might hear in a minute, because I'm just pulling up at a set of traffic lights here, and then once it's out of gear, my foot's on the brake and I've stopped. There you go, the vehicle's stopped now, which is also another good economy feature. So that's going to save me like quite a lot of money, I guess. Because of the eco-dynamics system that they use on these BMWs, if that's what it's called, efficiency dynamics, the road fund licence is only £30 a year. I was paying £220 for my 3 Series, so that's really quite a big saving for me. And the other thing is, of course, that this will return me a lot more fuel, miles per gallon, I'm hoping. So at the moment it's produced pretty good mileage return. Here we go, automatic start. So you dip the clutch, first gear, second gear, and you know, third gear. This really picks up beautifully. I really had no complaints about the engine on this. I've had a look under the bonnet, and I'm no mechanic, but I know where to do the normal maintenance and normal servicing, you know, and it's typical BMW engineering. It's just faultless. You just can't fault it, you know. It's fantastic. And I had a discussion with a guy in a pub once when I had my 5 Series, and he said, oh, you must be a rich so-and-so running a 5 Series. And I said, well, how'd you work that out? And he said, well, servicing must be a lot of money. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I had a 5 Series service and I had a set of rear brake pads put in, and it's no more expensive than when I used to have my Hondas. So there you are. Hondas are okay, but for me, BMW take it every time. Right, we're up on the motorway now and I'm in 4th gear and I'm just putting my foot down now and it picks up with no hesitation whatsoever. We're up to 80 mile an hour. I'm just going to slot it straight into 6th gear. And wind noise, a little bit of wind noise, but to be fair, it is a little bit windy out there today. It's a bit damp, yeah, it's heavy, so I'm expecting a little bit of wind noise, but other than that, really it's as smooth as can be. You drive, no shaking on the steering. It is a really, really good drive. Like all BMWs, it locks on the remote system, which I find very, very good with the built-in keys should the battery ever go flat. And that pinging, by the way, is my sat-nav telling me speed cameras and what have you, so sorry if it's irritating you, I can turn it off actually. There you go. Peter's very efficient on this. That's one thing I will say about it. Overall, I like it. Drives well, it goes where you want it to go. There's plenty of leg room in the front. I'm 5'10", got plenty of leg room. If you're 6 foot, you can still get in here. The seat goes up and down, backwards and forwards. It's got a bit of a rake angle, and it's also got the extended leg bits out here if you need to use them. I personally don't use them, but they're there if you need. Now it's quite windy out there and the car's fairly solid on the motorway. We're doing 70 mile an hour and the car's not being blown about at all, which I like. Sometimes that can be a fault with lighter cars, but I like this. I didn't have that problem in the 5 Series, because that's built like a tank and weighed like a tank, but this 1 Series is right at the other end of the scale. Looks of it, it's not the prettiest of looking cars, I have to say. There are better looking cars, but looks ain't the be all end all, quite frankly. And generally, you know, the 1 Series is a very popular vehicle for people getting into the BMW family, if you like. It's a nice cheap car. I paid just over 10 grand for this. I am second owner, I think I already said that, and I really can't fault it. There's no marks on it, there's no dinks on it.